How many forms do you think it takes to keep payroll running smoothly? Well, two of the most important ones, W-2 and W-4, are often misunderstood, and that confusion can lead to some pretty costly mistakes.
Oh, that's such a good point. These two forms might sound similar, but they serve completely different purposes, and honestly, the stakes are high when it comes to getting them right.
Welcome back to Insights Delivered, brought to you by HRDelivered. I'm Eric, and today I'm joined by Blake. We're breaking down the key differences between W-2 and W-4 and why they matter for employers. Let's start with the W-4 form. It's officially called the Employee's Withholding Certificate, and it's filled out by employees when they first start a job. The purpose of this form is to guide employers on how much federal income tax to withhold from each paycheck. It's forward-looking, meaning it impacts future paychecks based on the information provided.
That's right. And the W-4 isn't just a one-and-done form. Employees are supposed to update it whenever they experience a major life change, like getting married, having a child, or even taking on a second job. Those changes can really affect how much tax should be withheld.
Exactly. But here's where it gets tricky. If employees don't update their W-4 after a life change, they could end up with too much or too little tax withheld. Too little, and they might owe money at the end of the year. Too much, and they're essentially giving the government an interest-free loan.
And for employers, the W-4 is foundational. It's not just a form you file away. It directly impacts payroll systems. If the information on the W-4 is processed incorrectly, it can lead to under or over withholding, which creates headaches for everyone involved.
That's why it's so important to have a solid onboarding process. New hires should complete their W-4 as part of that process, and employers should double-check that the information is entered correctly. Digital onboarding systems can really help here by streamlining the process and reducing errors.
Totally agree. And now let's talk about the W-2 form, which is kind of the flip side of the W-4. While the W-4 is forward-looking, the W-2 is backward-looking. It's prepared by the employer at the end of the year and summarizes what actually happened: total earnings, taxes withheld, contributions to Social Security and Medicare, and so on.
Right? And the W-2 is critical for employees because they use it to file their personal tax returns. Employers are required to provide W-2 forms to their employees by January 31st each year, and they also have to file the same information with the Social Security Administration. So accuracy is absolutely essential.
Definitely. Any errors on a W-2, like incorrect Social Security numbers, wages, or withholding amounts, can cause big problems. Employees might have trouble filing their taxes, and employers could face penalties from the IRS or the Social Security Administration. It's not something you want to get wrong.
And let's not forget the trust factor. If an employee gets a W-2 with errors, it can really shake their confidence in the company's payroll processes. That's why year-end is such a critical time for payroll teams. It's their chance to verify all the information and make sure everything is correct before those forms go out.
Absolutely. And this is where having a well-organized system really pays off. Employers should confirm employee details, like addresses and Social Security numbers, well before generating W-2 forms. It might seem like a small step, but it can prevent a lot of headaches.
So, to summarize, the W-4 is about planning for the future, while the W-2 is about reporting on the past. The W-4 is filled out by the employee to guide tax withholding, and the W-2 is generated by the employer to summarize earnings and withholdings for the year. They serve very different purposes, but both are absolutely essential for payroll and tax compliance.
And understanding the differences between them is key for avoiding mistakes. For example, failing to collect a W-4 from a new hire could result in incorrect withholding, while failing to issue W-2 forms properly could lead to compliance issues and penalties. It's all about getting the details right.
That's why accuracy matters so much, not just for compliance, but for maintaining a smooth payroll process. And let's face it, payroll is one of those areas where mistakes are not easily forgiven. Employees depend on their paychecks, and they trust their employers to get it right.
Exactly. And that trust extends to tax reporting too. If an employee ends up with a tax bill because their employer didn't handle their W-4 correctly, it's not just inconvenient, it can really damage the relationship. That's why employers need to take these forms seriously and make sure their payroll systems are set up for success.
And for employees, the takeaway is to keep your W-4 up to date. If your life changes, your tax situation probably does too. It's your responsibility to make sure your withholding reflects your current circumstances. And if you're not sure how to fill out the form, consult a tax professional or use the IRS's online tools for guidance.
That's great advice. And for employers, the key is to stay organized and proactive. Make sure new hires complete their W-4 as part of onboarding, verify information before generating W-2 forms, and protect sensitive employee data. These forms contain a lot of personal information, so data security should be a top priority.
Absolutely. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, there's no shame in asking for help. That's where we come in. At HRDelivered, we specialize in payroll management, tax form compliance, and HR support. We can help you navigate these challenges and keep your payroll processes running smoothly.
That's right. Whether you're dealing with onboarding, year-end reporting, or just trying to stay compliant with tax laws, we've got you covered. Payroll doesn't have to be stressful, and with the right support, it can actually be pretty straightforward.
So, to all the employers and HR professionals out there, take the time to understand these forms, invest in good systems, and don't hesitate to reach out for help if you need it. It's worth it for the peace of mind and the trust you'll build with your employees.
Well said. And for our listeners, if you want more tips and insights on payroll, compliance, and HR best practices, be sure to visit our blog at hrdelivered.com/blog. We're here to help you navigate the complexities of the workplace and build a stronger, more efficient organization.
And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow the Insights Delivered podcast on Spotify and turn on notifications so you don't miss new episodes. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.